All of some former crabber at the back does it TV so share be am way I patch say me nifie na me walk grounds as abre me no ka say me ye adwuma na me receive so many calls I'm for from me they were sending me videos of lawyer Kusi say wakoye interview Orange FM or say Maame Akosua Serwaa case no on to asubiem wejai na obi for from me ele no ye Maame Akosua Serwaa wadi atum say in fact, I've received so many calls and so many headlines on social media talking about the similar case. What happened? I think the course neighbor. I have to pause so you can see from the background. Say I'm supposed to be there to make sure I'll get a content for you guys. But then I have to quickly place a call to lawyer Kusi to find out from him. Indeed, he said that Ben Okoye interview. No, na sem Ben Okan. Na indeed, he said the crash say or I can't say Maame Akosua Serwaa case. No. On this review. Of course, threatening the me didn't have crampy now. Of course, sometimes when they're doing something like that, there are some one or two feedbacks be a bit to me about also what I say. Or call radio so. I remember so catch me say minute lawyer Kusi kasa sisi e. Na me kasa me catch lawyer. If I talk conversation with me record it, no see yes with me record it. I cannot record without his consent. And because and it's not an interview. What I say. Remember, he's also a spokesperson for Canada Japan campaign team in the Ashanti region. And oftentimes, I call radio so. This is not the first time. Lawyer Kusi call radio most of the time. In fact, na mefe, until now show that domestic our year moon sem na dinya no na odidi odebo. What I say. He's very nice person. Into call radio so na normal politics na say okwakoye campaign. E dey make Canada Japan. What I say. E hot no call ya. The host, Ebisa and say, just a quick one. No, see, I don't want to comment on this issue, but no, Ebisa and say, as a lawyer, while taking such a high-profile case, what we receive threat to be an ear. That's when that conversation came from. But I catch them and say, one stated definitely say case no beja. But later, I catch them and say, as a lawyer, and so that case will cram and a crampa, it will impede his integrity as a lawyer. And more can say. And also we jai also I say you make my catcher and say and you correct mean to the end the farmer no yen go kweti asma lawyer Kusi kasa catcher me bra me friend wo phone so hey I na me gina and for lawyer this is the same you spokesperson because right now be a person oje the free me chain to send by my friend no me confirmation from him so let's go and listen to lawyer Kusi what he told me when I called him. All right lawyer na me say benya cause bebre almost say who say Maame Akosua Serwaa case undi bi ma man for me. I just want to get a confirmation from you. Quick one for only that one alone.
It's not true.
Okay.
And you can listen to the tape very well.
Okay.
I was invited to speak on matters of politics.
Okay.
Because I'm the head of communication in Ashanti for Ken.
Okay.
And before we went to discuss the Ken issue, they asked me about the Almighty Akosua Serwaa.
Okay.
Yes, and I can only give a brief because I've been advised not to speak to it.
Okay.
I know business about my frustrations, and so of course, I've experienced frustration. In fact, I've received stress after I filed the notice of appeal. So I know, am I not thinking about the safety of my wife? I'm saying I am. Nothing to be and I'm saying everything is possible. You get the point?
Yeah.
I'm saying, why not? Everything is possible. Let me die. Let me to us. So I did not make an emphatic easy me die.
Okay.
But asking them, so everything is possible. And so this Chese, and I know because my causes are obedient to me, nano afraid from.
And yeah, some kids are maybe
Why?
I want for friends because
illegally.
Oh, because a lot of people are picking on say sometimes look at the people picking or kind of such a way say wow all support the other side and what's here about ya. Arabusan for me damasi say munya daji na de bia mo hwe daji TV ya frame me Isaac daji enti lawyer Kusi arabusan for mo kwate ne nka no na numre mi kodu fia this video I will take my time to break down the early na bana sebi yemu binom ye nyabotre analyze ye no I will take my time and break it down for you guys to understand the early no as to whether say Maame Akosua Serwaa admit say odoboni ayere and I say wakoso affidavit say indeed odoboni ayere dia then what's the essence of the appeal and that statement that you are seeing on the social media no read it carefully Mr. bia ne emu language. Everything and the tone of language. Adwuma bia ne emu language you see. When you go to journalism, they have certain word they usually use. When you go to the law, they have certain word they usually use. When you go to architecture, when you go to any other sector, we have a specific, your friend is saying, language you see. I think yesterday I joined a couple of TikTok live just to explain that portion to a lot of people. Okay? And some of you don't have no idea about. I don't want to say you don't read only from the 4. Read from the 3. 3 day part say the statement in the part or say Maame Akosua Serwaa say court say that lumba wu ye no oja yirmu mienu obudin any 4 no obetwere wo ho no. So now you could see say I'm more than say menya statement in my phone so now me read the info. I just want to break it down. I wanted to do that in my other videos, but I want to clear this. Sanabeya ebusan for mobete asem krana eden make no. I want to open it here on my young phone. Phone where I say camera your friends say microphone any camera na say nti mostly na ya na me enta en use en shoot video. Ebusan for my mobody say I want to take my time. And then get you that. Sanabeya me read here e dey akere mo. Enti am obi too for true food and go any. Sometimes take your time. I don't want the message man say social media no mama follow too much. Obi aba candidate. What the emotion did you say? Most of them are lies. So want to get to know. A bit is obi from some CEO and on Hidba Media. And on Hidba Media, since when they started this, sometimes you can say there are some media houses, there are some bloggers, there are some people whenever they post something. This person has never supported Maame Akosua Serwaa. So papa akono can say something that Chirawa. Kahunu said they are coming from a different angle. They will say it, they will twist it into a brofo. Just go and listen to. But a supplementary, which means that the first one now more far lay, no, man fa or boni di anfambum. I don't tell more for no draw my attention. What I say? Although but not the so now they have to file a supplementary, no, which means that since a court ebua se enyiremu yemienu no onu kwan ntumi enko file affidavit early abra onfa didin ere oba kono so edin kan hoche odoboni and na lawyer Kusi part say there be I'm come to file because all the parties involved na Akosua be my Shailin they all have a right to request to undertake that early no obia wa right when yes kotun obi country mu say omo fa kuntun achi obi ka say kuntun achi ati say npa kono okoye side he doesn't have a right, he doesn't have that right to go and request for that. I say aka tell him say aduane we ade we media na minim say ade we media na minim say ade we kra anya media o ti o I say full kitam nya media na makofa etira kofa phone the thing ankasa is not doesn't belongs to me. So when you stand to say okofa kuntun achi say okoji ele abe manager ajapade na in law no bibia no they are interested like they have a right kusha be mpom obedi ade ne ba Shailin so ka ho in fact obetu use any of the calendar use Akosua Serwaa yere ye Maame Akosua Serwaa yere so she has a right to go and request for early. Oduboni has a right to go and request for early. So all of them are parties, they are all involved. And where from this narration say ani okofa kuntinati and okofa sokoje japade no you see whoever that will say that and look at where that person is coming from. You know, so the person is coming from a certain camp. So on can't say be what here when let me break it down to you. I will do a live video tonight, but this is a supplementary. This is supplementary affidavit in support. And whenever you're reading a document, in fact, a document or everything is read as a whole. You don't read from a bit and until a year call for appeal because evidence at section 161 clause 1, 2, and 3. The judge only, the court, let me use the court only spoke about section 161 clause 1 and 2. The court never said anything about section 3, which is a clause 3. That's why we have a leeway on the clause 3, even if you don't even adduce any additional evidence. I hope you get my point. All right? I hope you get my point. So now, no, section 161, run the part who reading it now, read it as a whole, yet to be. And the document where who has say it's a full document, it's a supplementary affidavit. And the all part say 1, read from the 1 up to the 5. Don't go and start from the 4 and begin to rant begin to say and ye Maame Akosua atum ye Maame Akosua say Maame taking me time na me chechiri me the enfan it means that this is supplement which the initial one I the coin no kra no yamfa bibia the odoboni the amfa nka ho. And I'm sure said that the reason why judge and catch almost said Debbie. So far as said there was a judgment so far as he set aside, no, that judgment still holds. And the judgment is that Odobroni is also a wife of that Lumba. And it's okay affidavit one for Odobroni di amfa mbemua. So far as there's a court judgment and set aside, you know. Otemwa for me did say or no wisdom moon ekachro said then go and file additional affidavit and then bring the name of that person. So now you be I to say you better children the corner into their shape. So now no affidavit no odiba no. So not so can me Akosua Serwaa my job to say that number owuye no oja yirum mienu a it means there's no need for the appeal. Nimpa na kaso file appeal that to challenge the legitimacy of Odobroni as a wife or the entire what judgment no. And so Akosua affidavit no can say me Akosua Serwaa my job to say that number owuye no oja yirum mienu which means that wakoswe under oath to admit say indeed ni yirum mienu. That will be the case, and then you should use a crime enfan kanesa. And about try say that trade number one or say that I am the first applicant and the deponent hearing. 2, that together with the 2 applicants filed an application for the letters of administration on the 22nd of December 2025. 3, please look at the third one carefully. Listen to the third one carefully. That is the main point here. That in the affidavit in support they decompose to be the third applicant. Right? We failed. Listen to the brother. We failed to indicate. One say back on the call no one fan ka. So this is an additional affidavit some day, but see we failed to indicate that the High Court Kumasi on the 28th of November 2025 gave a judgment in which it decided that the disease which that Lumba had 2 wives. Or partially say yes Akosua Serwaa na account or see court in say that Lumba wu ye no ja yirum mienu wan kasa Akosua Serwaa also say na yirum mienu no hwan ne hwanya and obetwere four say that the 2 wives are Akosua Serwaa Fosu and the first applicant and Principal of this is the first applicant and the Principal of Odobroni. Wherefore, I swear to this affidavit in support. May support is a court in Akanya. This is something you have to take into the distinction. Shenye, or see, or patch, let's say. First affidavit now, Elena, you try to call first one or Timwa for an ekachrom said there be court ebua say a yirmum. It is all beji, upaso beji earlier. Forget about file another wife need different home because wife in yemi. So then they have to come and prepare supplementary affidavit. But a supplementary affidavit is not all they counsel. So or corners or cocan echoes where say on what you to say that number which means near appeal no, it is dead on arrival. Then if that will be the case, then young kasa young koti judgment now to move for Nankasa de buy no. Say court in account court to say ye but me to be a minute. I be say oh media court in account but me I don't know. Which means the person is contesting that decision from the court. And into your trust say first one no they buy you know. They fail to indicate to say Odobroni court can say or nimpo no wi no or yirum mienu. Yirum mienu omudin e Akosua Serwaa ne Odobroni. So this is the common English and when and no nchira say Maame Akosua Serwaa kwaja tum so Odobroni e yere. Look at the wording of the statement. You understand? So please, I just want to do this. The wording of the statement, because this is supplementary. Supplementary means that there's already an initial one about who they call you. No, then I suspect. So to move from the culture said Debbie. Na say yirum no court can say mu yetu. Enti aba na say na won ko ba file affidavit. Sa na be dia kofa ba ko na kan wo affidavit no. Na gitu say yirum ye mienu. No say Debbie me krase ma file appeal. Into some medical, na some medical cancer, you mean, which means my dear to say you mean. Son of idea, and in the court one cassa can yeno. Me man cassa mean quoting fair mount. And it's all true, I say, first one on the coin, move fairly, they fail to even indicate, sell the which will contrary to the law. Judgment no diabano. So then, if judgment, then Yanka say, Yama can say, court in a can't say that lumber we and Oja worry for me, or Mudin a year. Maame Akosua Serwaa any Odobroni asa. It is different from saying, say, me say that number we no, Ojayimu mienu, Akosua Serwaa ni Odobroni. Do you get a distinction here? So there's a difference between the court decided, the court said, and I said. These are the two things you need to take into consideration. And please, don't get confused. Yeah, Maame, yeah, person onya that kind of mental health. You want her to remain calm. You want her to be happy. All the social media commentaries, buzzers, and intro, and you see, those of you who are serving as an informant, where something is going on, you go ahead and be leaking information to other people. Be careful, right? Be careful, and you just want to cripple the woman in such a way. She said, "Or that crump won't to me, sorry." Me, I love the woman so much that there's no I'll ever betray her. No matter will be the outcome of whatever will happen, I'll forever continue to support her. No matter what people will say, I will always stand behind, before, after, beside, front, back to support her. No matter what. But that's why I said you have to be very careful in terms of content you consume on social media. And I've said this, that there are a lot of people who will come, who will post something to irritate you, to like before. I've received so many calls. That is why I have to stop whatever I'm doing just to address this issue. For you guys to understand, say, enya sign identity, brofo, legal terms. Obi a lawyer be fast den fetchire no, obechechire mu de achire. This is supplementary. When you even the first one, no. First one, no, they fail to even indicate so don't cry yere. Then the judge said that, hey, I think that you people court can say you me ba say na wo de oba beji earlier oba can say yere ba kope. Then for beka ho. Na me so call me chim say I don't know court kasa me fan kan. Me the kan ho which means say my admit say yere me mienu. It means when I go to appeal court, affidavit ma so e ba affect me. Sa na be de me yen sa. Emu me kan say court na say yeye mienu ba me crampo court na say say nimpa no wuye no oja yere mu mienu. Court na say the court decided, the court ruled. They didn't say that me, Akosua Serwaa, have admitted that we are two wives. No. So these are the two distinctions that na me person me make it. Send a say, oh, hear me. You get understanding of the whole situation. This evening, I call live for TikTok. I'll go live on TikTok and other platforms just to make sure. So I'll take my time to explain this whole situation to you. I never quite mess around and say, Bebre, nah, you take all this information hook by sinker. And I understand. I know how passionate. I know how people are following this case. I know how people are so passionate about this. I know how people love Maame Akosua Serwaa. But trust me, the interest of the lawyer, the interest of everybody's matters. Lawyer Kusi, as a lawyer, and the reputation, everything is also matters. And those of you are saying, Lawyer Kusi, my name is fair enough, Matthias. But remember, he's already a communicator. He goes on radio to talk about anything. But sometimes on radios, they will try to ask you, oh, fine, I just don't want to go for further. Because this question could be he was there to talk about Canada, Japan, and then this person brought also, you are a lawyer. Sometimes they will ask you such questions. Say, you are a lawyer. When you are dealing with such high-profile case, what kind of what kind of threat do you get? And no can say same way. I can't say everything is possible. Because remember, some way you kind of nipa no pay wasem. Some media houses and bloggers, and they will pick it. And they will spread it. So na be who can say, "Mo lawyer na kwa mo kofa na kwa mpo no why dey we gu manu as we mama," which is not fair. He has not said that. And I spoke to him, and he said that, you know what, I'm not giving up. No matter the threat they are issuing to me, I'm not going to give up. So please, I hope that this explanation will probably, my small sense of knowledge will make sense to you, all of you. And as I said, I'll forever support Maame Akosua Serwaa, whether rain or shine, whether they give her all the properties, they don't give it to her, whether she loses, whether she doesn't lose, whether anything about Maame Akosua Serwaa, I see it as 100% genuine and perfect human being, perfect woman to follow, and I always respect and love her. You can take your own personal decision, support whoever you want to support based on your own belief. My personal belief is that she's an embodiment of a material. She's an embodiment of knowledge. She's an embodiment of a holistic wife material that every man will pray and love to have. Not surprising that Luma himself said that Yakupon Shen so no bo about to say Akosua Serwaa edin man. And in any din Serwaa the a year or do. But that's a brave so that na watch Dazi TV.